This ain't no game, this that CSZ game. They said pull up, so I came. You better put some respect on their name. Yeah, 55 was goody. Kill the vibe, how could he? Big Cardinal on the hoodie. Let me break it down for you fully. This ain't your average broadcast. This ain't just no podcast. Another show spread fake news. We just call it podcast. Wes, Joey, Sam, Shawn, Dalton. And you know that boy hit you. He said he wants small fry. Tell him they better make him big. Yeah, you already know what we be on.
You bet. Here he goes. This place is gone.
If we said it instead of this song, sit in the seat, set up your phone. You in the Cardinal sports zone.
Straight steal of home. The slide. The Cards win.
The magic is working tonight. How do you know when things are...
The emotional journey to the championship.
What is up, everybody? Welcome to this week's episode of the Cardinal Sports Zone Podcast. I'm your host, Jeremy Wallman. Full house in here today. I'm joined, normally I would announce him last because he's the one that's here the least, no shade. But here with me at the AC Charlotte City Hotel in Charlotte, North Carolina, is my right-hand man, Wes Brown, who's made multiple jokes this weekend because I said he didn't come cheap. He was very expensive to bring down here, and then he made some jokes about 600 years ago that I didn't appreciate. But it's Wes Brown.
How you doing? I still make that joke.
Yeah, let's not do that. We don't want to get taken off the air.
That's fine.
Next to him, not in
600 years ago, what was he in, the Crusades?
His soul
Walking
was.
around with some armor and a sword?
All my life I had to fight.
All of his lives.
His mic's still not working.
Oh, God.
His mic's not working now?
No.
So it was working before the show, and now it's not working. All right, Wes. Well, if you got a point, you can just use my microphone. I don't know what. I'll just have to get a better. We got to. No, that's not anything.
No, that's not.
Speaking of not anything, next to him on the screen is the ultimate
Chooch.
Virgo, the ultimate Chooch. It's Shawn Barber.
How's it going?
And for the first time ever, pause, I'm going to say this, the person under him is the red chipper, the host of Mondays with Dalton Pence. Dalton Pence.
Hey,
What's going on?
he's underneath of him.
Pause.
I said pause.
Definitely pause.
All the way over to the left of him is another guy we've not seen in a while. He's been busy working. We're going to get this schedule together. After basketball season is always hectic, so we have a big four during the basketball season, and then we switch it up. It's our guy who has the keys to not only the keys to life, but the keys to keeping a job. It's our guy, Wes Keys.
What's going on? Glad to be back.
Absolutely, and last but not least, and you all better not put your fingers in the air. It is the big little brother, Joe Wallman.
Acknowledge me. Shawn,
Gosh dang.
Wes. There we go.
And you all.
He's sitting right next to you.
It is what it is. He just don't have a ride home. Again, sitting here live at the AC Charlotte City Center Hotel, an amazing place. Wes, we had the time of our lives last night, didn't we? Don't touch it.
Yeah, we did. We definitely had a tremendous time. We met some good people and watched some great games.
Okay, that's enough out of you.
All right.
Don't forget the Mossy Oak chat line is open if you're watching on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, or however. Send us your questions on social media. We'll get to that line here in a second. Check on the graphic to see how you can follow the Cardinal Sports Zone podcast on social media and how to help support monetarily. We got the YouTube subscriptions, the gifts, the monthly stuff. It's a good way to help us out to be able to do more stuff like this. Hit the thumbs up button while you're here on YouTube. Make sure you're watching if you can. It'll help us out more. And last but not least, shout out to our sponsors, Fitness Market, Fourpex, Collision Course Crew, Cherry Pink, Shoot 360, Mossy Oak, Planet Fitness, Rally House. Appreciate all of them. And before we get into last night, Dalton, I know we've only got you for about 10 minutes. In about 10 minutes, we'll have our guy from the 502 Circle and Floyd Street Media, Dan Furman, joining us. So that'll be a good time. He's always a good time. Again, before we get started, I would be remiss if we didn't start the show off by saying it seems like the last 3 or 4 weeks, we've been talking about somber events. Card Nation lost a legend this past week when Junior Bridgman passed away. The ultimate professional, the ultimate businessman, the ultimate entrepreneur, and just all around good dude. Every time I talk to him, you would have never known he was a billionaire because he didn't brag about stuff like that. I heard a story the other day. Being down here has just been awesome. You hear all kinds of stories from all kinds of people. Apparently, the day it was announced that Junior Bridgman had bought the Bucks, him and one of his buddies, a mutual buddy, were out to breakfast and, just bought the Bucks. Didn't mention it. Didn't even tell the guy. He had to find out when he got home. That's what kind of person Junior Bridgman is. So just a moment of silence for Junior Bridgman. And, let's win. Not to win for wear, beat them for Bridgman or anything like that. But let's go out there. I truly believe that we've had some, like I said, we've had some tragic losses over the last month, and I truly believe a few of those angels are watching over us and helped us out the last 2 nights. So we'll give Junior a few seconds of silence, and then we'll hop on in because, again, I know that we've only got Dalton for a few minutes. We appreciate his time. When you become your own radio host of your big-time Monday talk show, you're busy, and you can't always hang out with your boys. So we get it. So let's give a few seconds of silence. And y'all know how hard that was for me. Very hard. Guys, again, let's get into a little bit of I've got everything down, but I want to kind of get your all's thoughts. Don, I'll let you go first. Last night was a magical night. Now, anybody in this room would be lying if they said I was completely confident with 2 minutes ago this game was over. You got deja vu. Your stomach was in knots. You got sick. You knew it was coming, and you still weren't. For the first time all game, you start missing free throws. For the first time all game, the refs stopped calling fouls. Well, not the first time. The first time in the second half, the refs aren't very friendly until the very end, and they were. But kind of take us through your experience of the last night.
Yeah, I mean, it seems like they got rattled at the end. Clemson made some shots that they hadn't hit all night that they're definitely capable of hitting. I thought that some of the turnovers Louisville had were some foul calls that were missed. That's why I think Clemson fans claiming that they got robbed, I think it's really rich. But again, you're seeing this team make the plays when they need to. They did it Thursday night. They did it Friday night. Postseason's all about surviving and advancing, and I felt like they did just that because they are playing tonight. That's why we're having this episode. It's a quad one win. Love the win. I felt like whoever was going to succeed at being the enforcer was going to win the game because both of these teams are really similar in that regard. And, shout out to a bunch of guys, but I'll highlight Javon Hadley as my player of the game. He had a huge bounce back game, rose to the occasion. Don't know why he wants to be the Tiger King, but hey man, played really good against Clemson. Up and down performance, shouldn't have lost that 15-point lead, but you survived, and that's all that matters.
I'm gonna call Javon Rocky, and he toppled Drago last night.
That's fair. I don't know why, but we've had a lot of issues with that this season. We'll build a big lead, and just for some reason, and it doesn't even look like we're taking our foot off the gas. We just hit a spurt or a drought, and shots just don't fall for a few minutes. The next thing you know, the teams are back in it. But the one thing I bragged on about them, especially last month, is their ability to, once those teams crawl back in, to be able to deliver the knockout punch. And these last 2 games were a little bit different than the ones during the season. But 28-6 super run or whatever it was against the tree that had Kim Kardashian's lips, and yesterday to be able to out-bully the bullies in Clemson, because those guys were playing football in the first half and were they were able to get away with it. It wasn't until about the second half or a little bit later that the refs started blowing the whistle a little bit more on us and just acting like Clemson had kid gloves. Again, excellent point, that last play of the game. Booby probably doesn't even hit that guy unless the kid from The Water Boy doesn't push him. Water sucks. He really, really sucks. Pushes him into his teammate, who somehow miraculously whiplashed before he even got touched. So we got to overcome. Good teams overcome all obstacles, and this team has done just that. Dalton, again, I appreciate you hopping on with us, even if it was just for a few minutes. Anything you want to kind of like plug before
not really
you go?
Plugging. I think that the main thing that I keep reiterating is that we're so. Even though it's been really stressful, it's been such a joy watching March basketball meaning something once again. It's been a couple of years. Honestly feels like a decade in the past couple of years.
Forever. Yeah, it does.
It's going to be a tough game tonight against Duke. I think that even without Cooper Flagg, they have the potential to be elite because they're really good defensively. And I think that their offense kind of flows more without Cooper Flagg because he's such a focal point, and now you kind of allow them to play more free. Against North Carolina, they had 5 players in double figures scoring, so not really one player to focus on. I'll give you 2 keys to the game. Number 1, be the enforcer. Duke is the same way in that regard. The top 3 teams in the ACC all want to be the more physical team when they're on the court. Number 2, let's just make some 3-pointers. It's been a while. Let's have a game where we hit some 3-pointers. But fellas, appreciate you all for having me on for a while. We'll see you tomorrow for the bracket reveal. Go Cards, and hopefully we're talking about a win tomorrow.
Listen, he's not lying. We do need we need those threes to fall. We need this to be a repeat of the Duke-Louisville matchup in Indianapolis. We go from Dalton self-proclaiming one man, the Tiger King, to us bringing on a guy who I like to call the Cardinal King. It's our guy, Dan Furman. Dan, what's going on, my man?
What's going on, guys? How are you? You guys doing all right?
Well, Dan.
Man,
hopefully you can see me okay. We're sitting in the hotel down here in Charlotte, getting ready to hopefully go do this thing. It's been a lot of fun. We got Coach Brown and Brady with us, about to go take on Duke and hopefully pick up a W.
Look, as you heard, I want a game today like that game we had in Indianapolis in the NCAA tournament en route to the championship that did count. I was there in Indianapolis and in Atlanta. That's the kind of game I'm looking for today. Dan, thank you. Again, I want to bring this up. I think when we win tonight, I'm going to say when, not if. Dan, you got to join us courtside to do the podcast.
I'm all in. I'll do it. I'll do it with you. Let's go. When we win, we'll do it courtside. But man, it's just been a fun ride, man, and it's cool to watch it all come together because there was a lot of blind trust in the beginning. A lot of people are involved in this that people probably don't see from the outside looking in, but there's a lot of people that care about this program in a lot of different ways that have stepped up and put this place back where it belongs. So we got a lot of good basketball ahead of us. You got to get a win tonight and keep this thing rolling. But this is what Louisville basketball is all about. It's not a David versus Goliath, man. We're supposed to be here. So let's act like we belong and hopefully go pick up a W.
I love that. Dalton talked earlier about it feeling like it's been a decade since Louisville has been, and it's not quite been that long, but you can tell why some might feel that way because this year Pat Kelsey has won more games in 1 year at 27 than we did in our prior 3 years combined. And also with his win last night, I don't know if the rest of you all know this. I know Dan probably does. He's the all-time winningest coach in Louisville history in their first year, surpassing Denny Crump's 26th.
And we're not done yet.
No, not done. Not done. Going to be several more wins. Dan, now I'm going to I'm going to be a little bit vulnerable here. I don't like to admit when I make mistakes for those that know me. I got an email the other day from the 502 Circle that said, "Sorry to see you leave. Hope to have you back soon." So I'm like, first thing I thought was, well, what did I do? So on Monday, when I get back into the Ville, I'm going to resubscribe. I had got a new bank card.
I love it. Oh, that's all right, man.
I didn't update. No, I just didn't want to, because I know you see, Jeremy Wyman unsubscribed. Jeremy Wyman didn't unsubscribe. Yeah. Jeremy Wyman got a new debit card.
Hey, that's Jeremy all right, Wyman, man. We'll get it squared away. My man Quinn will give you a shout. We'll get it locked in. But no, it's been fun. We still got an unbelievable amount of support on the 502 side. Obviously, things are changing a little bit with the House settlement, and we're excited. Like there's a really nice runway for us to have a lot of success. We've built a really nice foundation, but that's because of the work that the city's done, the belief the city's had in us, and it's going to be an exciting couple of years because you guys have put that work in. So we got the right coaches in place. The coolest part is, man, they both care about each other a lot. They learn from each other, and to be honest, they hold each other to a pretty cool standard. That the standard, as Pat says it all the time, like the standard is the standard. So these guys want to win. They want to compete for championships, and we continue to resource it the way that we are. I think that we're going to be watching a lot of really good football, men's basketball, women's basketball, volleyball, and baseball, everything across the board for a good period of time here.
Everything. Dan, before we let you go, and we do, you told me you were out with some donors. You told me you're out doing business.
All good, though, man. They're loving it. They're loving it. I've got
a bone to pick with you, though, Dan. You know how much I love you. You're my dude. Why have I not been on one of these watch-alongs?
You come on, man.
Everybody else in the hole.
I don't get on there. I don't get on there.
Everybody else.
I don't get on there. I stay out of that one. But let's do it. Y'all should go.
There was a blind person on there the other day. We should have this
crew on there, man. Come on now.
Let's do it.
That would be fun.
Let's do it.
The Flu Street stuff has been cool, man. The way that people are watching some of the live streams, the video and the content that Sydney and Paige are putting out this week. We've got Zach down here working on some stuff as well. So it's exciting, man. It's different. Like, we're one of the only schools in college sports doing it. And it's different. It provides a different avenue for businesses to step up and support us and put us in a situation to have success. You can only stretch this, the donor dollar so far, right? There's everybody keeps talking about donor fatigue, but what are you going to do about it? How are you going to fix it? And how are you going to, it's so funny. We went over and did a tour of the 2311 racing facility yesterday, and we had some downtime. And that's Michael Jordan, Denny Hamlin, which is a really, really cool place down here in Charlotte. And they're doing an unbelievable job. I think Reddick was almost won the cup last year, which is cool. But it's cool to hear from other businesses and other companies on how they get an advantage. And one of the things that we were talking about is, like, there was the question came up. It was like, is there cheating, or are there things in NASCAR that people are trying to get an advantage from, right? Like, are you trying? And the guy's response was, like, right on the spot. He was like, man, we don't cheat, but we innovate every day. And that's what we do, man. Like, we try and find a way to innovate every day, and day in, day out. It's got to look different. It's got to be, there's changes. There's legislation that comes down that's throwing us for a loop. But ultimately, we do a lot of things to make ourselves valuable. And I think that we're in a really cool spot for especially football and men's basketball, man. It's going to be a fun ride, but ultimately, we got to go get this one tonight first before we do anything.
Absolutely. And a lot of people who come up, they say, well, they are not. They make excuses, but when you're the person, the type of people that constantly are just looking for solutions instead of issues, you thrive. And that's what, dude, I see all your videos every day. You grind. You respect you so much.
Man. Same to you guys.
Well, appreciate you. Can you tell everybody where they can go to donate and sign up?
502circle.com. It's like Dion, man. We ain't hard to find. It's top right corner of the website, big red button. Go ahead, join 502 Circle, subscribe, be part of this thing. We're still rolling. Things are in a really cool spot, and let's keep doubling down, man. Like, the city's got to double down. We saw the impact it had on downtown, so let's see what we can do. Let's make a run at this thing here for a while, and ultimately, get behind some of the Flu Street media stuff that we're doing as well. That stuff's creative. You guys, especially all from that space, the news and media space. Keep pushing Sydney and Zach and Paige, all these guys. These young kids are learning a lot through Flu Street media, and let's keep pushing some good content and keep getting everybody in the city involved.
Absolutely. That's one thing we'll leave you on, and we'll let you go. If you all know me, I'm a lot like my dad. My dad would only vouch for things or people that he believed in. There are lots of people growing up that would ask him, hey, can you get me a job at your work? And there are people my dad had known decade, friends of his. He wouldn't do it because he knew at the end of the day they'd probably go to work and embarrass them. So he wouldn't do it. I'm the same way. I don't link up with people that I don't believe in. And Dan, the 502 Circle and Floyd Street Media has made me a believer from day one. There's a reason we shout you all out. every week, twice a week. It's because we genuinely care about what y'all are doing for this program, and we appreciate you a lot.
Man. Thank you for everything. If you guys need anything from us, holler at us. But hopefully, I'm talking to you from some courtside seats here in a few hours. Let's go get a win. Let's
I'll
go.
see you tonight,
go Cards.
man.
You got.
Yes, sir. Go Cards. Appreciate you. Dan Furman from the 502 Circle, Floyd Street Media. Great dude. Let's get to the chat line because it is I've been neglecting it. I have to be honest. I've been neglecting the chat line. Where's the chat line? And why is this not working? Oh, okay. Sources. All right. Let's take that off. Go back to chat. What are we doing? Why does this not work? Nothing wants to work for me today. Let's go. You all talk. Okay, Joey, you're next. Tell us a little bit about what – I'm not going to do the whole thing where I normally do in segment one where I recap the game. Y'all know we won. Y'all know what happened. Kind of take me through each of your all's individual – actually, Joey, I know I said you go next. I know Wes has got to leave for work here pretty soon. Both of them, actually. But Wes Keys, I'll let you go real quick. Kind of lead us through your emotions and everything that you went through last night. Some of your thoughts.
Honestly, excited to come out with the win, of course. You can tell the guys are incredibly fatigued, like coming down the stretch, because the majority of our starters are playing 30-plus minutes a game. So it's like we start out slow, we finish a little bit slow, but in between, we played great. There were droughts on both sides, but altogether, this team just doesn't lose, really. They know how to pull it together at the right time, like Coach Kelsey talks about, winning time in that final 4 minutes. Even though we were up 15, we still held it together when it cut close.
Absolutely. I'm going to try to refresh the screen. I'm going to let y'all talk. Joey, go ahead as I refresh the screen. Hopefully this doesn't kick us off live, but my screen is just all discombobulated.
I'm going to head out, guys. I'll talk to y'all later.
Okay, cool. All right, Wes Keys, everybody. Not that anybody cares.
Let's get Shawn's reaction from last night, because I spoke about how I was feeling during, when we did our after the game broadcast. So
very true, very true. Shawn, you go ahead while I refresh the page. I've got to be able to get to the chat line. It won't let me get to the chat line. So go ahead, Shawn.
The first thing that I thought about was I wondered if they run out of gas a little bit, because they had to play shorthanded against Stanford without Rain Smith. Now you're down to, 6 guys that you use a lot. And I was like, oh, man, against Stanford, I thought they were shorthanded. And then last night I thought for sure they were gassed. And I was like, okay, let's just get Rain Smith healthy, get to the tournament. But then, like they always do, they found another gear. They always manage to find another gear, and that's something this team does. I can't say any other team in my lifetime did. Is that when the chips are down, they find the extra gear, put it in the gear, and then they pull away for a while. Unfortunately, because they're shorthanded, that's why Clemson got back into it. Clemson started running that press. They were gassed, and when you're gassed, it's not just physical, it's mental fatigue, and that's what happened. That's why they were turning the ball over. Yeah, there were some fouls too, but it was a lot of mental and physical fatigue. But what's great about this team is they fight through it. They fight through everything. They never give up. Even when they lose, they're still not giving up. They don't believe they're going to lose the game ever. And that is something that for the last few years we haven't experienced. It's a wonderful thing to see, and that's why I think this team's making a big run in the NCAA tournament.
All right, and as y'all can tell, I figured it out. I've been putting all your all's responses, not to ignore any of you all. Shout out to Brian, Tom, Chad, Steven, our guy Garrett, the meat man, pause. Daniel Garcia, one of my buddies. Appreciate you for joining in. Tony Bowman, Aaron Walker, Garrett Hoover's fat fingers as well, he said. Turtle Armstrong, Aaron Walker, Brian McGlasson, Kevin Watson, Denewville. Let's get into the show. Again, I said I'm not gonna go over a lot of it. The end result was Terrence Edwards had 21, Hadley had 20 and 9, and Ted 2 had 8 rebounds. Booby had 7. Cards earned their first ever trip to the ACC title game, 76-73. Hepburn and Waterman also got into double figures with 11 and 10 respectfully. The Cards put on a defensive clinic, maneuvered through some tough foul issues in the second half. The school's most teamy team ever showed why. I don't know why this team seems to take them forever to get started. But I am always thankful that they're able to figure it out. Go through some of these. I'm not going to read the entire thing, but I want to make sure I can talk. Clearly got Clemson flustered when they went up 40-34 after Noah Waterman, good man, hit his three in the second half to go up 43-34. Cards on a 14-6 run to start the second half. Speaking of Noah, if you watched the show last night, he made a cameo in our podcast. Do you recall that, Wes?
I do.
Looked like he was sleeping.
I thought he was asleep too.
I was not sleeping.
Just kidding.
But yeah, I recall.
Can y'all hear him now? Talk.
No.
Hello.
What?
See, you can hear me, but
yeah, I can hear you. Well,
all good. But
that's all that really matters.
We saw him do a cameo on our podcast at the courtside.
Okay. Let's get back to the so 14-6 run to start the second half. Our free throw shooting was really good until the very end of the game. We just needed one stop at the end. We got it. Clutch block by Scott after well, I said Scott, but it was Traore, I believe. Chucky has the line for two, hits one. I'm trying to find the final free throw count. I had it in my notes, but I cannot find it. It was still pretty decent.
Said 21-25.
It might have been 21-25. I had the StatCast. I have the blessings of being able to have the StatCast on that keeps all live stats while I'm doing the show.
22-27.
Doing 22-27.
Yeah.
It's hard not to show appreciation to this team. Let me go over a couple of facts. So, fun facts from the trip down. Wes was being hit on by the Eastern Kentucky University beach volleyball team. The only problem is he had no idea he was being hit on by the Eastern Kentucky University beach volleyball team because he was wrapped up in a blanket like a burrito and laying back like the Undertaker, and they were just pointing and laughing. I was like, he's asleep, not dead. I promise I didn't kill him. They probably thought I killed him.
Was it the men's beach volleyball team?
No. Louisville's won 11 consecutive games. Duke has won 10, the only other time in ACC tournament history to pit teams with 10. Can anybody just, if you know it, don't say anything. But if you don't know it, take a guess. The last time that happened, the only time it ever happened.
I can't say anything because I know I've seen the stat. I don't know the year, but I know the
Okay,
team.
You already knew anyway, so be quiet. Joe,
I mean, I would guess. With the meeting in the championship game of the
ACC championship matchup between two teams with 10 games of winning.
Well, the good thing I know it leaves us out, so it's got to be Duke and North Carolina.
It is 1974's NC State, Maryland, Valvano Epic.
Trash.
That's
why I didn't know it.
Wolfpack NC State had won 23 straight at that point. Maryland had won 10. Guys, I'm pretty sure we probably shouldn't even suit up to play tonight. Duke, according to ESPN, they've got an 86% chance to win the game, and we're 7-point underdogs. So I don't know why do we even show up? Well, I don't know.
Because we're Louisville and we shocked the world.
That's true. So let's get into a little bit of the breakdown of the game tonight. Not really too worried about the guard position. My worry is down low because, as you saw last night, Waterman and Booby had some issues with the Sharman baby, and Drago from Rocky, as Joey mentioned it earlier. What are y'all worried about? Wes, I'll go to you first. I'll let you have the microphone for about 10 seconds or more. Okay, it's my turn. No.
For me, I'm not really worried, but I do been realizing watching all these ACC games that they have been considerably close. This is that one.
You do been realizing?
And he needs to move the microphone closer because he's still faint.
Well, either way, none of y'all won't hear me anyway, so it's all good.
Wait, y'all can't hear him on my microphone now?
It's kind of low.
about it.
Hold on. Now talking to your microphone.
Hello?
No.
Nope. So it's just a day. Nobody wants to hear Wesley. I'm cool with it.
So it's a day ending with a Y.
Yep.
Okay. Fair enough. Let me see if I've got is there a setting I don't have? Let's do this. Let's take them off air and put them back on air. Now say something, Wes.
Nope.
Hello?
Nope. Nope.
Oh, don't worry about it. That's all good.
Unplug your mic and plug it back. We're going to do the Insight communication thing. Unplug. It's right here. Okay, where were we at? Shawn, what about you? What are your worries for this evening?
It's more about us and the fatigue factor, because our guys at the end of the game last night, they looked spent. And this Duke team, granted, they're down 2 guys now. They still got more of their guys than we do ours, because we're missing 3 guys now with Rain Smith, or 4 guys. Sorry.
Hold on, Shawn. I accidentally hit the outro music, and I don't know how to turn it off.
We can't hear it, so.
Okay, that's fine. So keep talking. Well, no, because the podcast, people can hear it. Gosh dang it. Hold on. Okay, go.
Like I said, I'm more worried.
I was just trying to cut Shawn off
I'm
naturally.
just more worried about our fatigue more than anything. That's the one thing that because you can't really control that. I mean, you can try to sub in guys in and out, but with the fatigue factor, and then you got Chucky having to guard, because their guards are pretty good. I just wonder if we're going to have enough gas to get to the end of the game. Other than that, I'm not worried, because we played all types of teams this year, and as long as we're not tired, we got enough gas, I think we can take Duke out.
Okay, Joey, what about you?
I mean, I'm not really worried about as much about the fatigue, because I think throughout the season when Traore came back and he was a little erratic to start, and Waterman was a little erratic here and there, Kenai was getting his feet under him. I've seen a lot of people like, oh man, they should just not play him as much, but that's exactly what they played him for then, is for now. Chucky, Fat, Hadley, the minutes aren't bothering them. I mean, when that ball's tipped, their adrenaline's going, and they get a few spells here and there throughout the game. They're going to be fine, and I just think it's more about handling pressure. I think that's the last minute or so of the game yesterday on the inbounds, handling the pressure. It's like it just came out of nowhere to them that they were going to do that. And then after they did it once and twice and 3 times and 4 times, like it took them 4 or 5 times to realize, hey, we need to do something different. So maybe the mental fatigue of it, not as much the physical. But I think they learned their lesson last night. This team is consistently, if they did something not well in the game before, they fix it and they go on. So I don't see that being an issue tonight. I think they're going to be jacked for the game. They're going to be ready to play, and they're going to be ready to prove everybody wrong, like the ESPN people. 86%, whatever. They're going to be ready to show the world Louisville Cardinal basketball.
All right, so 2 questions, and we'll close out the first half of the show. And I got some funny stories to tell y'all when we get back. We'll just save it for there. Do you all risk, and you all will, I'll let you all know as soon as, because last night we were back in the lobby. Actually watched the last 5 minutes of the North Carolina Duke game with the Louisville managers and stuff. So I should be able to get you, not publicly, because I probably would lose my credentials for that. But for those in the podcast chat, I'll let y'all know as soon as I can about the availability. But do you all risk playing? Does anybody risk playing? Shawn, you go first. Do you risk playing Rain Smith, and what's your prediction for tonight?
If he can go, I think he's playing, but I think he's playing very sparingly, using maybe 5-10 minutes just to get him a little Yeah,
limited
limited
minutes.
And then as far as prediction goes, I've got us winning 74. We'll go 74 70 or 74 69. 74 69.
Nice. Joey.
I'm with Shawn. I think if he's 100%, you play him. There's no reason not to. Championships do matter, whether it's the ACC championship or the NCAA championship. We've never hung an ACC tournament championship banner. At this point, this is our best chance ever of doing so. So if he's available, he should play. If he normally plays 30 minutes a game, playing 15, playing, a couple 5-minute stretches here and there. Let him get back in the flow of the game. But kind of do, Shawn, we'll explain this later, but do load management with him. Manage how much he's on the court. But if he's available, you play him. And I said last night, card 78 to 75 over the Dukies.
A fun fact, both Jeff Brown and Pat Kelsey took the Cards to the ACC title game in their first year. So that's pretty awesome. Wes, try again.
Nope.
Hello. Nope.
Okay. Give us your prediction for tonight. No, you got to stick to what you said last night. You can't go waffling. I didn't say you were going to, but I'm just saying you know.
And that's my prediction if Rain doesn't play.
That's fair. Let's try to move you to a different output.
Hello.
Yeah. Oh, no.
I was hear him now?
Wes Keys commenting.
Oh.
Load management.
I didn't see. Oh.
So.
Okay, here.
Okay.
Predictions, and do you risk playing Rain Smith?
I have to agree with Shawn and Joey. I mean, if he's 100%, yes, but there is that fear that something could happen because after what we saw last night, NFL tackles and everything like that, anything can happen to your player. So for me, yes, I would definitely do what Joey says, play him sparingly, get him back into the groove of things. And my prediction is 65-60. And like I said, it was going to be a close game anyway.
Okay. We're definitely going to have to order a new cord and get it in here because it's got to be the cord. They can hear me. But the thing that baffles me is they can hear me just fine. They could hear you just fine before we went live. So I almost wonder if maybe you accidentally muted yourself.
Again? Last night and today?
Right.
I don't know. I don't see anywhere where you can customize his volume anyway. So I don't know.
We really had to go do a venture to get a cord for this.
We did, and it wasn't the right one. So here's what I want. First off, there's no chance in heck that I risk playing Rain Smith unless it's 5 to 10 minutes of seeing if he's okay. The last thing you want is to put him into the game and him get hurt immediately, and then you're without him for the rest of the season. So I wouldn't myself risk that. You all kind of been close with your all scores and stuff, but I think if Louisville's going to win this game, they have to win it big. It can't be a close game. You've seen them in close games the last couple of days, taking everything out of them. The Cards have to lay a Indianapolis, Duke, Louisville size butt whipping on this team. I'm going to go. I'm going to go 78 Louisville, 66 Duke. I think we beat them by a dozen. We finally figure out how to extend the lead at the end instead of giving it up. Otherwise, if this is a close game, there's no way something's happened. Their bigs are more physical. Like you love to say, well, we got the lob threat, and we do. Big lob threat. But we saw Clemson's bigs last night. The offensive line from remember the Titans just push Booby and push Noah around and draw fouls when there really wasn't fouls. They've got a big dude down low, Duke does, that is physical. He's a bruiser. That's the only thing that worries me. I feel like we can shut the guards down. It's down low that there may be an issue. Get them into foul trouble early and pull them, make them not be a factor anymore, and the sky's the limit. I think that's what's going to happen for us to be able to dominate. As Dalton said earlier, we've been real shoddy on our three-pointers. We didn't shoot as many three-pointers the last couple games as we did all season, so maybe that's why we didn't make as many. However, I feel like if we had shot as many, we may not have won either of those games. So have full trust in Pat Kelsey. Whatever he says and does, I'm with it. But we've got to go light. We got to hit 10 threes tonight to win the game. That's my prediction. Wes is laughing about the load management. I know you mentioned that earlier. Wes Keith is 76-72. You're good. I don't know. This is normally where we would go on our commercial break, but we're not. We're going to take a break, but only to reset. This is the Cardinal Sports Zone podcast. For all of you all that are tuning in, I'm your host, Jeremy Wyman, former Louisville football Cardinal, here with former PRP running back, Wes Brown. How many stars were you in high school, Wes?
Half.
3.
Okay, so y'all know the rule of 3. He was probably a 0, but that's okay. Speaking of zeros, Shawn Barber's underneath on the bottom of the screen.
3.
Shawn was a
he still
negative
is.
3. Okay, and then my brother Joey under in the bottom right hand corner. We appreciate all of you all joining in with us, watching the show. We're having a blast out here in Charlotte. Joey and Shawn are having a blast. Joe, your picture's
It's been like
right
that
away,
the
so
whole
that's
show.
cool.
I did it during the intro.
Yeah, I didn't pay attention to it till just now. So because it was driving me nuts. Coming to you live, like I said, from Charlotte and Louisville. We are in the beautiful AC Charlotte City Hotel, about 40 feet from the Spectrum Center. Joey, me and you and I never can remember who else came down to watch a pair of games. It may have been Chris. It was so the last time we were here in Charlotte, we lost to North Carolina in the Elite Eight. Opportunity to go to a Final Four. I want to say we played Tennessee the game before.
It was definitely the Tennessee
blew
year.
them out. Yeah, blew them out. I don't remember if that was in Nashville or Charlotte. It was definitely we played a couple. We played Louisiana Lafayette, I believe, in the first round that year. I don't remember. Anyway. Beautiful facility. I don't remember a lot of the stuff that's around it now being around it when we came down, but it's a great place. I do want to give a shout out. So we got to just tell a couple of stories. We got to the venue last night to pick up our credentials. Had some guys show us around from Virginia Tech student radio. They were really nice. Wes, what were their names? Carter and
Giovanni.
Okay.
Shout out to those guys.
He said it was Bryant and Giannani. Carter and Giovanni, whatever. Shout out to them for showing us everything down there where the media room was and such. And then we go back. We left. So the Duke North Carolina game was at 7:30. We got up there about 6:30. And I did nothing but pace the whole time. We watched the North Carolina Duke game. That was an epic game, a bucket list if you're a college basketball fan, game to go to. So we got to experience that, even the epic way it ended. We were standing right at the tunnel when the game was ending, watching it with the Louisville basketball managers and coaching staff. And again, we won't say his name, but to see him coming out of that tunnel, there were 4 guys walking him out as he was sobbing. I feel horrible for him. The kid's always been he's always been good to me. He's always talked to me, had questions, interviewed him a couple of times. He was great. So hopefully they do get into the NCAA tournament. Fox has them at the 3 spot. They actually have North Carolina playing IU in the play-in game. So hopefully that is the one that comes to fruition. But Right. So after that game ended, me and Wes were just hanging out, and the Louisville men's basketball's got a hype man or something that brings a speaker out and just blares music, and it was banging the whole time. And the players are dancing, stretching, getting loose, and our guy Spencer sees me and runs over, daps us up, gives us a hug, everything. Peyton came over, same thing, and Spencer was just still so grateful that we had him on the show. And I told him anytime he wants to. Spencer Stand, I believe I'm sure I know for certain their yearly NIL opportunities are over now. But for next season, if it's anything like this season, they were able to, pay for a 1 hour virtual hangout with Spencer, or go do a workout, shoot around with them in the Cougar Center. Or the ultimate was the game day package, where you were able to go hang out with the team before the game, after the game, and have premium seats during the game. So that's something y'all should look into if you haven't already. SpencerStand.com is the place to be. Shawn, I got a bone to pick with you, but I'm gonna let you do your little thing, get your little spotlight, have your little segment, and then I'm gonna crucify you, as I always do. All right, everybody, it's the hottest segment, Sweep of the Nation. Shawn Barber, take it away.
No. Yeet.
There was no yeeting there. So we get home, going back to the bone I had to pick. Got home at 1:30 last night after doing the podcast live courtside. I'm going to keep saying it because that was so freaking amazing to be able to do that show courtside. Luke Hancock and Carlos Boozer, they were doing their show on the other side of the court. And there's me and little old Wes Brown, who last night we found out had fans. He told me and Joey, he was just thankful to be able to come down there for his fans. And I didn't know that, so I'm glad I do know that now. But
y'all got fans too. It's all good.
Well, yeah, but we pretty much assumed the only fans you had were
OnlyFans.
We're on OnlyFans. Yeah. But I digress. Worked hard all night last night. Got up about 9:30 this morning. Busted my butt to get these podcasts edited, put into post, get them ready. Called Shawn. Said, "Hey, Shawn, I need you to tweet this out." It is 5:18 in the afternoon, and I still haven't got anything to tweet out. Shawn, what is your excuse? And if you say anything about your family, I swear to God, I'll jump through here and choke the shit out of you.
They got choked me. I was at the fairgrounds watching the state tournament.
So your fingers don't work while you're watching?
I can say that.
No, because I'm watching first off, I had to keep moving around. They kept moving us around, not to mention I had to walk a mile to get into the freaking place. I had to park out a mile because I had a dog show and a state tournament.
Shawn, I worked till 1:30 in the morning last night and then spent the first 5 hours of my day getting this stuff. I've even started writing the post for him, so he don't have to do. All he has to do is review it, make sure I didn't make any grammatical errors, unlike our Twitter feed last night, and post the story. No, it's posted already. Just tweet it out. Just send me the tweet. That's all I ask. Feel like SpongeBob right now. 5 hours later. Nothing. You could have been doing it while you were waiting for the show to start today, while we had everybody on here. What's your excuse?
No excuse there. I was just...
It doesn't matter what your excuse is. Sorry. Well, listen, speaking of our experience last night, I got a ton of texts during the game saying, like, "Oh, man, you got really good seats. Oh, man. Da, da, da." But the second thing that was brought to my attention was Wes's boo-boo face. A lot of people said, "Man, it looks like Wes was trying to take a poop right there in the chair, but couldn't quite get it out." Wes, do you have – and then I noticed last night, I mentioned this to him. I said, "Wes, do you realize that in all your snaps, you look like you're trying to let a silent but deadly fart? Like, you look very conflicted. You're like –
He's pondering.
He's like, "Yeah, that's just my snap face." I was like, "Oh, okay. Wes, so I threw him in the fire. Now I'm going to pour some water on him.
Lord.
I did tell him, I think I made him nervous, psyched him out before the game. I was like, "Look, dude, you're not allowed to cheer at the table there. If you chair at the table, you'll be escorted away from the arena. So he was so concentrated and focused on not messing up that he was just buffering the entire game.
Well, I got a story coming down to the seat where I was because I almost got escorted out. Oh, my bad. But no, he did tell me, he's like, you're not allowed to cheer. You're allowed to do none of that stuff. And then I caught myself cheering, and I was like, well, I can't do that anymore because I don't want to get in trouble. So, yeah, I thought I was really going to get in trouble. Like, hey, what you doing? You media, stuff like that. I was like, all right, cool. I just watch the game and just do the play-by-play, and even that was doing too much. So I was just trying, man.
Listen, I'll tell you what. I can say this, Shawn. You can vouch. Joe, you can vouch. There were more tweets sent out during that
all
men's
season.
Basketball game last night in one night than the entire career of Sam tweeting out football and women's basketball tweets during games. Am I wrong?
Tell him when he's telling lies.
I mean, there was at one point where Wes was like, Chucky hits a 2. And then 3 seconds later, it was like, Chucky walked to the bench and sat down. And then 2 seconds later was, I think Chucky farted because it smells like Limburger cheese over here. And I'm like,
I did subs. I did turnovers. I did the subs.
Yeah,
turnover. I did everything. So.
Yeah, but again, like I told you before the game last night, have fun. Anything that needed to be worked on, we can talk about it afterwards. And Wes did a really good job for coming down here last second, not knowing what he was doing, and then handling business. And shout out to Sam for messaging 6 hours after we were on the road and was like, oh, I could have came with y'all if I'd have known. Well, I put that in the DM the night before. So it is what it is. Last thing I want to talk about the trip down, the most fun thing happened to me. And I want to shout out to Mike Rutherford. That's my guy. But he is truly a RuthDick. That's his nickname. Earned it. So I get a notification Friday morning. No, this didn't happen on the ride day. It was Thursday morning. I'm on my way out to work, and I get a notification. Now, you all know I signed up for Cameo last year when that was hot. And, I stopped mentioning it because I didn't want to sound like I was, you should want to talk to me. Yeah. So I wake up Thursday morning. I go out to work, and about 9 o'clock, I get a message. You've been requested for a Cameo. I was like, oh, okay, cool. So I go on Cameo. I hop on, and the message is like, hey there, big fan of your show. Really appreciate everything you do. My friend Jeff has just started a new job in New York City and is real nervous. He's a big fan too. Do you think you can kind of give him a pep talk and make sure, he's feeling better about his thing? Appreciate it. Okay. That's all it said. It didn't say who it was from. Didn't say nothing. It just was like, it may have said from Mike. It didn't have his last name. And it was his friend Jeff. So I shoot this it was an inspiring promo. Like, Wes, you wanted to move to New York City just so you could be comforted by me. It was that good. So as soon as I sent it, I get an email. It was like, your Cameo for Mike Rutherford has been sent. And I'm like, what? So I messaged him. I said, Mike, what's going on? And I get probably 72 LOLs in a row. He's like, oh, I thought that would be fun. He's like, I didn't want to send it to him. So I thought, who better than you? I'm like, okay, I get the rib. He's like, I'll just make sure that Jeff doesn't think that anything's fishy. I was like, do I know Jeff? He's like, oh yeah, it was Jeff Green. Mother of cheese. So, so that was fun. Wes's boo-boo face is after that again. So, okay. All right. Segment 3 is supposed to be women's basketball with Sam. He is not here, but he did send us some notes. Selection Sunday is 8 p.m. tomorrow. Cards are looking forward to having starter and leading scorer Jada Curry. Curry suffered a shoulder injury in the Notre Dame game, but was able to finish the game. She missed the ACC tournament games, however. Key reserve Marissa Russell will also be looking to make her return to the court, and she too missed the ACC tournament games. As the tournament gets ready to be unveiled this weekend, here's some predictions for the Cards. Tournament matchups and locations. Krispy Kreme is his name. Predicts us to be a 7th seed in the Birmingham region with a possible rematch versus UConn in the second round. Oh, Texas UConn North Carolina and that team down the road are the top 4 seeds. How? I don't know why. NCAA.com has us as the 7th seed in the Birmingham region with a possible matchup versus TCU. The Horned Frogs, not the Horned Frogs, but he calls them the Horned Frogs. South Carolina, TCU, Notre Dame, Ohio State. In that region. Top 4 seeds in that region. I was like, there's no way UK is the top 4 seed in the tournament. College Sports Madness also has us as a 7th seed. Open it up against 10 seed Nebraska, matchup with Southern Cal, which for those of y'all that follow women's basketball know we have some assistants at Southern Cal. In that one, USC, TCU, Oklahoma, and Bleep are top 4 seeds. In sporting news, they project us as a 7th seed. CBS Sports predicts us as an 8th seed. So plenty of different opinions there. We'll just have to see how that all pans out. Rapid Fire, which I'm pretty sure is AI Rapid Fire. Well, by the way, shout out to everybody showing up today except for Sam and Higgy. I appreciate that. U of L's baseball team split a pair of games against number 6 North Carolina yesterday in its opening games of ACC play at Jim Patterson Stadium. Louisville at 15-3, extending its winning streak to 8 with an 8-7 game 8-7 game in the Friday opener. 8-7 win in the game Friday in the opener before taking a 6-4 loss in the nightcap. U of L softball team was swept by the Virginia Tech Hokies in a doubleheader Friday night at Ulmer Stadium. The losses dropped Louisville to 17-9 on the year. Due to inclement weather on Saturday, they were forced to play Saturday's game on Friday. U of L's women's tennis team earned its first ACC win of the season, battling back to defeat FSU 4-3 Friday at the Scott Speaker Memorial Tennis Center. Today's match marks the Cardinals' first conference win since 2023 after going winless in ACC play last season. U of L track and field. The U of L track and teams closed the first day of competition at the NCAA. So he's not AI in this. He's just Higgy in it. U of L's track and field teams closed the first day of competition at the NCAA Division I Indoor Track and Field Championships on Friday at the Virginia Beach Sports Center. KJ Bird kicked off the day for the Cards to officially make his postseason debut, accumulating 3,135 points in the first 4 events of the men's heptathlon to close the first day of competition in 8th place. And Joey's walking back in. U of L's men's basketball head coach Pat Kelsey named a Naismith Men's College Coach of the Year Award semifinalist. The Naismith Awards announced Friday. He has shown why just over this week he deserves to be there. And last but not least, the U of L men's tennis team dropped Thursday's midday match to ACC newcomer number 15 California by a final score of 5-2. And we're gonna get back to the chat line to clean this up, and then we're gonna end the show. We're gonna get cleaned. We're gonna rest for a little bit. Then we're gonna get cleaned up and head over to the beautiful Spectrum Center. Make sure you're supporting our photographers, Jeff Nunn, TJ Barr, Justin Kruger, and Keith Russell. For sponsorship opportunities, check in the left-hand corner right below Shawn's virginity shadow to see how you can send us sponsorship inquiries. Don't point at me. For the Cardinal Sports Zone show. As you heard from Dan Furman, one of his favorite shows. He supports us, we support him, and we appreciate that. Tune into our show regular time, Friday nights at 11:05. That should start back this Friday, depending on our NCAA tournament draw. We'll get that. We'll figure that out. If we're playing late games, we may just go Saturday afternoon for the rest of the men's basketball. So we'll play it by ear. Where are we at? Okay, sorry. Stay tuned on social media and subscribe to us on YouTube or Facebook to be alerted anytime we go live, although we prefer YouTube. You can find the audio version on over 125 Apple, iTunes, Buzzsprout, Spotify, TuneIn, Google, Amazon, and iHeart, to name a few. Hit subscribe, like, heart, plus sign, or whatever it is that Shawn does on the weekends now. If you haven't listened to all the prior episodes of the Cardinal Sports Zone podcast, it's easy to find. Go to cardinalsportszone.com. Go to the podcast tab, drop down menu, select CSZ Podcast for our newer stuff, archives for our pre-93.9 The Ville stuff. It's easy. Check out our exclusives on cardinalsportszone.com, the place it all began. Shout out to everybody out there that's sharing the podcast. We appreciate you, and we can see by the immense jump in video viewership over the last week even. it's amazing to see the support and love. Shout out to our guys, Marcus Maben and Steve Rummage, doing the Lord's work Monday through Friday from 10 to noon on ESPN 93.9 DeVille, or whatever time Marcus decides to be in there. Shout out to our guy, Dalton Pitts, who does Mondays with DP, from 6 to 7 on the Big X. Shout out to our guys, Dan Furman, Mark Spiegel, and the crew at 502 Circle and Floyd Street Media. As he mentioned, a lot of cool stuff coming out on Floyd Street Media. I don't know about you all, but there's certain things that I watch like every morning when I get Wrestle Talk. For wrestling, it's Wrestle Talk, and WrestleMania. For sports, it's Floyd. It's really good stuff, and they have unparalleled access to the athletes. So it's a good thing to check out. Social media. Where can people find you on social media? Wes Brown.
They can find me on Twitter, WesB_42.
And on Instagram.
Don't have one.
Farmers Only.
Don't have one.
Bubble.
Don't have one.
Where are you putting all your ad pics at? That's all. Oh, Snapchat. His Snapchat is spicy hot chocolate 42.
That's
Shawn, where can they find you on? We're trying to get Shawn to date you all. So if you know somebody who might want to date a nice, stable
family man
who's probably underperforming in other areas, give Shawn a call. Give him a message on Instagram or Twitter. Tell them your Twitter and Instagram, Shawn.
At Elville Shawn and S Barber 06.
Shawn shooting his shot, guys. Joey, where can they find you on social media?
Joe Woman 526.
All right, guys. This has been an awesome weekend so far. Hopefully make it a little bit more awesome. Let's get our last words in. Shawn, you go first.
You know, it's Merkin season in Charlotte, I hear. I hear the Dukies are going down the toilet.
We'll explain the double entendre of that to you later, Shawn. Wes.
Everybody tune in. Hopefully we get this ACC championship. I'm going to say I'm going to be excited to be there. Can't see. I'm done. Good. I'm done.
No,
I can't talk right
he's
now.
already nervous for tonight where he can't.
I am nervous. Why don't you tell me?
You forgot to tell them how much you appreciate me for bringing you down here and hand gifting you this opportunity.
I think I did that last night, but I do appreciate you doing that because you didn't have to. So
no, but if you know me, I never can get enough of that. Joey.
Let's get this win tonight. Let's improve our seed line again. Maryland sucks, even though they're up by 2 right now against Michigan. But I can't say go Michigan because I don't like them either.
No, they're still complaining about
that whole game. That whole game is trash.
There you go.
Florida starting to beat the brakes off Alabama, so they look to have locked up probably the 4th number 1 seed. Auburn went down today to Tennessee, so that was kind of shocking. But March Madness, baby.
Also, want to remind you all that our guy, we have another show on the Cardinal Sports Zone Podcast Network. It's Spill in the Ville with Terrence Jennings. Terrence Jennings does a great job of going over the week's events, giving you former stories about when he was here. His moderator, Blake McCauley, and himself, they do a great job. And subscribe to those so you can get those when they come out live. Let's see what else. Lost 6 more pounds this week. If you want to subscribe to my Instagram, not for ab shots of West, but to see how I'm doing on my weight loss journey, it's at Jeremy_CSZ.
That's why I don't have Wes Brown on any of my social media.
He don't have it anymore.
Well, I mean,
except for Twitter, and he never did that on Twitter.
Never.
Well, then he might have a friend request coming or a follow coming on Twitter.
Appreciate it.
Tomorrow night, as you all know, the plan was to do a live selection Sunday show. Maybe part of me thought that we'd be home by now. Maybe part of me thought that we'd be home early tomorrow, leave tonight and get home early in the wee hours. So we're still going to do the selection show tomorrow night, but we're going to do it after the bracket's revealed. The target time is 7:30 p.m. So for any of the podcast members that need a ride to shoot 360, be at my house no later than 6:30, and we can all ride up there and set up together. 6:30, no. Be at my house no later than 6 o'clock so we can watch the bracket reveal and then head up there and set up and have a good time tomorrow night. We look forward to seeing all of you all there tomorrow night as well. You can come in and watch if you want to. I mean, we're not charging any. I might have to charge something because Wes is expensive, y'all. So there may be a cover charge. I lied. Tell your friends to tell their friends about Cardinal Sports Zone so we can be friends. No Diddy. We hope you all enjoy this week. Let's get caught up on the chat line, and we're going to get the L out of here because your boy wants to rest before he's got to get cleaned up and go. Slink Shiesty Money. What's up, Slink? Any word on Smith? No, not yet. I'll get you some information, though. Just message me about a half hour before the game, and I'll let you know what I can find out. Our guy Terry Jones says, "What's up, Jeremy? What's up, Wes?" Wes Key said, "Talking about fans, ain't nobody come to see you, Otis." I guess that's towards. I don't know why Wes. Here's my thing. Let me digress for a second.
Okay.
I don't know why you would try to start a joke war with somebody who has the same amount of ammunition as you. Like, the smart thing to do is go at somebody you know you can defeat easily the first couple times. Then when you get better, step up your weight class. I don't know what in the world Wes Keys is talking about, but yeah, man, maybe don't pick that fight. Yeah, you might be. Tim Slinker says, "Bring back Higgy." Yeah. Well, if we so he's like Drake with the duck lips. Okay. Well, yes. Broly says, "Yes, Russell and Curry are back. Randolph is playing good too." Who's Russell and Curry?
Marissa Russell and Jana Curry.
Oh, okay. Sorry. Brain fart. Do y'all think that Amit will be watching tonight? Absolutely. It's top two teams. Wes Brocky says, "What's up, CSZ crew? What's up, Wes?" Last but not least, James Gartland says, "Shawn, go to 7th Street." There may be a variety of dudes / chicks / post dudes / whatever you like there. Guys, we appreciate you all joining in with us. Thanks again for all the support. For the phenomenal Wes Brown, for Shawn Barber, the lonely one, and for Joe Wallman, the only brother.
Even Chucky in the background's acknowledging me.
I see it. I don't like it, but I see it. This has been the Cardinal Sports Zone podcast. We love you guys. We'll see you.